Hi, Los Angeles. I'm Jérémie Guez. I'm from Paris, France, and I'm here for the premiere of my book, Eyes Full of Empty, which is about a private detective who's much more than a fixer and who works for riches in Paris. What inspires me, first of all, it's Paris, because it's the city. I know the city quite well, and it was great to try to implant like a private detective, which is a very American character, in the French decor. There are many American authors I admire. Some of them are gone, obviously. Edward Bunker was a great influence, and now I'd say maybe James Lee Burke was a wonderful writer. I'm here with James Ellroy tonight, so I'm really honored that he could make it. It's obviously an idol and a big influence in my life when I was a young reader, so I'm really glad that he's here tonight for me.
Woof woof, or the demon dog bark. He's got a 12-inch wanger that glows in the dark. His brain is big, but his dick is bigger. His right wing fingers on the nuclear trigger. Yes, my friends, hear this ode. I porked a lizard and a lobster and a horny toad. On the king of writers, woof woof woo woo, I got a 2-year-old girlfriend strung out on glue. I'll end this poem with a sauerkraut fart. Then I'll pick up my pen and write straight from the heart. Hear me now. Hear my spiel of big bad Jérémie Guez and how he is real. Ah! Good evening, peepers, prowlers, pederasts, pedants, panty sniffers, punks, and pimps. I'm happy to be here tonight in the service of a young man who has been compared to, chiefly, me, secondarily, Raymond Chandler and Albert Camus. Jérémie Guez should have won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1957, but he wasn't born yet. Jérémie Guez's book is stolid, extremely stylized. He writes with a pen dipped in acid. This book is an admixture chemically of napalm, the AIDS virus, and crack cocaine. Ladies and gentlemen, Jérémie Guez, my son.
So here's the prologue. So today is my birthday. On a stool, elbows on my knees, head in my hands, I wait for the feeling to go away. This joint has fried my brain, ash so bad you have to squeeze the glowing end till your thumb blisters just to break it up. Also, it can do you the service of shoving a road through the middle of your skull, scattering salt, good and bad and indifferent, mowing down everything in sight. This fucking piece of shit ash has done time in plastic wrap, pockets, socks, and probably even someone's ass before getting fobbed off in the yard. A gift horse from my cellmate, Tariq. I told him it was my birthday today, and he handed me the joint and said, "Have a happy one, on me." I really lucked out with him. When all you have is 100 square feet to live in, better get along with the guy you share it with. Gonna take a shit, says Tariq. I turn the lighter on an orange peel I keep in a plastic box under my bed for times like this, to freshen up the cell as needed. I watch the peel blacken, flames running down the coarse grain. I take a deep breath, filling my lungs with smoke. It smells like citrus and hash. I'm seriously high. All right. I'm going to present you this book. It's about a private detective who is not really legit, is much more a fixer for rich families, and is moving between words and social letters. And this is like that kind of character was inspired because I grew up in different neighborhoods, and I know both like bad drug dealers and people with PhDs. So I came out with this idea to try to pick up this very American character, which is the private detective, and put it in a modern Paris that I know. And I remember like the first book of Elroy I bought. I didn't know it was my father back then, but I was like, I worked in a warehouse, and I was, loading and unloading trucks all day long, and with my first pay, I went to that bookshop around the corner, and I picked up, I don't know what's the English title. James, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Blood on the Moon, is that the thing? Yeah, Lune Sanglante, exactly. Which was published by Rivage, by François. And it was such a blast for me that like it changed my whole vision of literature. I was not a great reader. I had no access to books at home, and when I read this, I was not familiar with LA or your country, but I knew that like it was great literature. It was like Dostoevsky, like taking place nowadays, with cops, robbers, drug dealers, drug addicts, and I felt like I could write something that was looking like the place where it was from, and do it with my guts